Welcome back to the Ascension Series. I'm Dime from Diamond No Mentoring Incorporated, diamondno.com. Anyways, let's talk about something really interesting today. I want to talk about fear. I had a wicked ass download yesterday. Um, and I'm going to be really vulnerable. So I'm known for that, but I'm going to share some of my shit and what I've worked through and how I've sort of gotten here, and it doesn't end. So, just a reminder, as per usual, there is no rush with your awakening. This isn't a race. Your healing journey is not a race. It's not something that can be forced. It's something that blossoms, it unfolds. And I want you to look at it as there's a path in front of you, and you just simply have to walk it. That's it. It's one step at a time. And we don't know what's next. We're not meant to know what's next. As you navigate your journey, you're going to understand in the 12 universal laws that the law of vibration is your energy vibrates, everything vibrates, and the law of attraction responds to that. So you're going to receive what your vibration is. And through the law of correspondence, you're going to have a reflection of where you are at consistently. So everything is a reflection of what your vibration is. Um, so these are tools for our ascension, for our evolution, for our awakening. And I know how unbelievably easy it is to get caught up in, fuck, like, when is the thing? Where is the thing? Is this a thing? Is it sustainable? Is it going to stay? Like, and getting all caught up in the unknown. And that was a download that I got yesterday. So I had this interesting experience on the weekend. So the retreat property has this beautiful pond in the backyard, and the property has been vacant for over a year, maybe longer. And everything was overgrown when I took over the property. So it's been a lot of yard work, a lot of discovering and finding what's buried underneath, all the ragweed and stuff that's taken over. And I have a large discomfort, we'll put it mildly, of open bodies of water, especially dark water. And so here's this pond in my backyard. And my fiance and I are like, all right, we're going to clean it up. Like, we're going to make it habitable for more wildlife. Eventually, I'd love to get ducks for this beautiful pond. And I want to be able to see it, but it was overgrown with bulrush and moss and muck and grossness. So at the retreat property, there is one pair of waders. And waders are those rubber pants. So it's boots to pants, overalls that in my short stature come right up over my chest. And they're a woman's size 7. So the only person they fit was me. So I'm the one having to put on the waders and get into the pond. And the pond is horribly taken over and mucky. And yes, we're very cautious. We don't want to ruin the ecosystem. And I would never want to disturb the fish or the frogs or any of that. So I'm out there, got these waders on. I'm sending Reiki to the pond. I'm like, all right, lovelies. And I'm talking to the frogs and the tadpoles, even the leeches and the water spiders, all things that I am not interested in. And I'm like, okay, like, I love you. This is my space. I understand this is your home. We're just going to tidy it up for you. We're just going to take out this and the bulrushes, and I'm going to come in and we're going to work together and we're going to create this beautiful, because this is my inner child, what I do, right? So I'm over explaining my intention here. And then it's time so we start cleaning up the edge, and then it's time for my big ass green waders to get into the pond. And my ego went, nope, no, we don't know how deep it is. It's muddy. We can't, it's mucky. It's covered with like gross moss, and like, we don't know what's in there. No, we're not doing it. And for those of you that know my journey, anxiousness and my ego are best friends. They love each other. My brain loves to go into protection mode through the experience of high anxiousness. And so I'm trying to get into the pond. I've got a rake and I'm like gently poking to move, like, okay, fish. And I also really don't like fish. I had an experience. I drowned as a kid anyway. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like trying to get up the courage to step into a pond like a traumatized 5-year-old. and very uncomfortable with it. And, slowly working my way through that. And it created a tremendous amount. I allowed my ego to go right into worst case scenario. What if there's a hidden hole and I go right under? What if I get stuck in the mud? What if there's like, I don't know, violent fish? What if there's a sea monster in the pond? Like literally off in imagination of worst case scenario. And it was very challenging for me to get centered and grounded because I didn't control it. I allowed it. I just allowed it. And once I was out of the pond, which I had a really hard time, I was in and out of it a couple of times, attempting to be brave and getting frustrated and getting angry with myself for like, Dime, it's a pond. Like you're literally helping this whole ecosystem by doing this. You know better. Stop. And I'm getting really angry, which is not the right thing to do. So do as I say, not as I do kind of vibe right now. So this goes on for quite a few hours and we're in there. And there's this little patch in the middle where it's quite deep. It would have been probably my waist. Couldn't, didn't. And I got out and, we like clean up or whatever. We start doing other yard work. We get into the house and we're looking at the pond and there's this one little patch of uncleaned area. And I was like, man, I really wasn't courageous. And my partner, who is my pillar of strength and my cheerleader, he's like, "But baby, you did so good. You would this is a fear of yours, and you conquered it." And da. And I'm like, "No, I don't feel like I did." And I start shaming myself. So every time I look at that pond right now, I'm like, I let anxiety control me. That's fun. I let fear dominate me. And then yesterday, I was sitting outside on the deck, connecting into the trees. And my guides were like, yo, you want to talk? And I was like, yeah, like legit, let's talk this out. What happened? Where, where is it that I didn't have my desired outcome? Like, where did I go wrong? They're like, you know better. You know to trust the journey. And I've shared that in some of the other Ascension videos where, I've had some crazy experiences traveling across Canada in a vehicle that kept breaking down. And at the end of it, I learned a really beautiful way of embodying trust. And it wasn't trust that was the problem. The problem, what I thought, was my irrational, impulsive, instinctual fear based on severe trauma with open bodies of water in the past, especially dark water. I had this situation where I drowned as a little girl in a bunch of carp. And I don't know if you know what carp is, but they are massive and they're gross. And it was seaweedy and I had to be resuscitated. It wasn't fun. So, logic says, okay, but my vibration went way out of control on that. And the download I got yesterday, standing on the deck, connecting in, was, baby girl, it's not fear at all. You were focused on the unknown. You were focused on the potential of the unknown. You were focused on the possibilities of harm, the unknown. You weren't focused on the curiosity. And then they're like, it's the same as there's unknown in everything. There's unknown in love, but here you are. There's unknown in choosing to be a mother, but here you are. There's unknown in building this crazy giant empire that you're building, but here you are. So it's the fear. It's not the fear of fear. It's the fear of the unknown. And it's going to be the same outcome. It's all in how you perceive it. And this is where it got really good for me. I was like, all right, we kind of know that. We know that there's nothing to fear but fear itself. We've heard that statement. But for me, that like hit so much deeper. The unknown is where we place our fear. And then we wrap stories around the unknown. So we are creating the fear based on the perception or the story that we're wrapping around the unknown. And that's the default. That's where my default is. Maybe not all of us. And I was like, oh, so if I'd gone into that pond and stayed in curiosity of the truth, the intention of why I was going into the unknown, which was to create a healthier habitat, a healthier ecosystem for everything in that space, as well as visual pleasure, like to be able to see it and witness it and experience it. That was my intention. That was my desire. And I didn't allow the unknown result to be my focus. I allowed the unknown fear, like the whole like, what if there's a hole or I get stuck in the mud or what if I fall or what if one of these water spiders climbs up and in my thing, like, ah! And that instinctual like panic, right? So for me, that was such a deep, beautiful lesson, which now in hindsight, because we only ever understand in hindsight what the lesson is or what the experience is, but I created that experience. And we create all of our experiences. We create the love that comes in by becoming the desired unknown, by focusing on the potential instead of the opposite, right? I don't think potential is probably the right word there, but you know what I'm getting at. And so then I stood there and it just unfolded into this incredible experience where this lesson is surfacing all over the place right now. And that's a law of correspondence showing me that I'm moving through the mastery of it. It's beautiful, right? And I have these mentorship groups that I run where I launch people into soul purpose, either with our team or individually on their own. And I was speaking with one of the members in the current group that's running. The next group starts in November. And so in just a couple of weeks. And oh my gosh, I know you guys watch these videos. I cannot wait to connect you and watch you guys soar. And I think there's still a seat left. I haven't checked, but there's one more seat left. So I'm really excited to see who joins that. But I was having a conversation with one of the mentors, and this individual, this soul, this beautiful, powerful being has been having the conversation of, I don't know exactly what this is yet. I know what skill set I have, but I don't know exactly what it is. And we had this conversation today where it all unfolded. The beginning of it, the launching pad of it unfolded. And the soul took me through one of those sessions. My jaw was dropping the whole time. And I said to them, you know, like shared this story. And I was like, it's so interesting how we do that. We get caught up in, I don't know what it is. Therefore, I'm doing something wrong. I don't know what it is. Therefore, I better shame myself. I don't know what it is, what the outcome is. So I better be hyper paranoid, or I better be really defensive, or I better stay small, or I better not shine. And for me, now going through that ridiculous thing with the pond, I'm like, every minute we have a choice. We have a choice to stay small. We have a choice to be brave. We have a choice to change the perception. We have a choice to tell the story of the desired outcome and navigate it in that vibration. Or we have the vibration of getting consumed in the undesired outcome and therefore preventing us from achieving or arriving at the desire. And that was a simple way for me to learn it. Man, did I learn every time I look at that damn pond right now? I'm like, I'm home alone today. And it's cold outside. I'm here in Canada. It's quite chilly. And I was supposed to pick up my puppy today. So we're getting a new puppy. And the vet, so she's going for her shots this morning. And then we were picking her up after that, her first shots and her deworming. And the vet called in sick this morning and is going to be there tomorrow morning instead. So I've cleared my schedule to help her adapt to the new family and bond with her and, you know, learn her and let her learn us. So I have the afternoon off now. And don't you think, you know, the whole saying, everything happens for a reason? Everything happens for your alignment. Everything is a reflection of what your soul compass is wanting to experience. So here I am, as you can tell, dressed for the weather. I'm going to go put on waders and I'm going to go in it with the intention of my desired outcome. And I'm going to go witness and be witness to them through the law of correspondence, reflecting my intention. So this them as in the water spiders, the leeches, the fish, the frogs, the things. And I'm going to go reflect each other and very quietly get in that fucking pond and create a beautiful atmosphere for them. And I'm not going to go into, I can't. How do I? Should I? I'm not going to go into that. So it's so fascinating to me how things unfold. It's beautiful. So I want you to look at today what unknown is making you uncomfortable. Is it that you're dating or wanting to date and look for your person and have your person and you can't find them because you're online scrolling and swiping and shaking your head a lot because there's no good fish in the sea, or it's just not meant for you, or whatever? What story are you telling yourself? Because you're wrapping the worst case scenario, your protection mechanism of I don't want to get hurt in and around that story. That's your unknown. What unknown are you standing in? Is it the unknown of having a vibrant, healthy body and having to make change in your routine or your diet? Is it the unknown of financial flow and thinking that work equals money, or hard work equals money, or money equals greed? Or what's the unknown? Where are you restricting yourself in the unknown? I want you to get hyper clear today, because this is going to be a game changer. So you're going to get clear on, where is there lack in my life? What am I wrapping around the unknown? What story am I wrapping around the unknown? What is my desired outcome? And can I begin simply with rewriting the story that I'm wrapping around the unknown? Can you begin with that? So I'm going to pull out the waders and I'm going to sit at the pond. And today might be the day that I just tell a new story. That might be all that happens. Or today might be the day that the unknown strikes my curiosity and my love for everything that's living, residing, I don't know, being in the pond. My love for that might take over and I might take action. But all we have to do is start with changing the story. That's it. And not letting the fear of the unknown dominate you, but the potential of the unknown dominate the story, dominate your vibration. And then look how the law of correspondence is reflecting, everything's a mirror, is reflecting your vibration back to you. You will know. You will know. So let's say it's dating, and I have to fix these emojis on this video. For those of you that are watching the video and not the podcast, Zoom has this thing. It's a Mac problem. I keep forgetting about it. I got to figure it out. So anyway, so if it's dating, you'll know the law of correspondence will reflect you, because you'll start to get compliments. You'll start to get like, oh, well, hey. You'll start to get smiles from the sex of your desired dating experience. You'll start to get a little bit of like positive confirmation. And our egos love confirmation. There is nothing wrong with getting confirmation, guys. It's a beautiful thing. Your ego can settle and move into this new story, into this new vibration when it has confirmation. So look for the confirmation. I'm not a fan of dating sites, but I know that works for some people. But look for the confirmation. Look for the potential in the world, not the evidence of lack, not the evidence of the fear unknown. If it's money, one of my tricks is everything green means money to me. It means prosperity. So the more green I see, the more prosperity there is available. Green lights, green trees, green plants, the color green, green clothes, green nail polish. Green eyeshadow. I don't know. Every time I see green, I'm like, there it is. It's on its way. So if you're looking for prosperity, that's what you're going to do. Look for the confirmation and start to tell yourself the story of your desired outcome. And there it is. Short and sweet, still rambly, but short and sweet. So there's that. What other topics are we going to cover, guys? Hit me up in the comments and let me know what you would love for me to share through my experiences or my clients' experiences. I'm here to be of service. I love you tremendously. Have the most amazing day. I'm going to go meditate by the pond and see what happens, and I'll keep you updated. And maybe I'll post stories on TikTok at some point of this pond. So crazy. All right. Continue to be brave, bold, raw, and I will talk to you next week. Bye, guys.